Hard work, hard work. Hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work. Hard work. That's what we say. Hard work, work, work. Earn what pay. Hard work, work. Hard work. Do it every day. Hard work, work.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, good evening. This is Al Flowers, and you're listening to TalkOne Radio on the TalkOne Radio Network. Brown bag news, baby. That's it. Pretty down and dirty. That's simple, no big words here. We're just going to talk about what's happening in the world. Hope, basically around Sun City, Bluffton, and surrounding. But before I want to kick off, I just want a quick read in on Buford Drug Company. I don't know if you're familiar with it. You should be. They're located just outside the Oakity Gate, provide great service, family-owned and operated pharmacy. They have old-fashioned ice cream fountain there. It's unbelievable, Hershey's ice cream. I'm trying to get off it because, had all these operations, did nothing but sit around for about 90 days and watch movies and eat pizzas. So that's not a good combination for somebody my age. But they offer everything over there. Buford Drug Company. They're doing compounding services for those that need those. You can appreciate that. You're going to get everything you're not getting from the big box stores like CVS, Walgreens, even Publix. I mean, the folks over there are nice, but there's nothing like a local company that takes care of you, knows you, and hey, listen, they give you free vitamins as a customer there. And if you have prescriptions that you go, I don't want to go through the hassle of transferring, they're not a problem. All you can do is walk in, fill out the paperwork. It takes like less than 10 seconds, hand it back to them. They do all the work. It's simple and easy. Give them a call today, 843-707-7077. It's a local company. Please service them and give them your business instead of the big box stores. They get plenty of cash on the corporate level. They don't need any more of your money. Keep it local, keep it simple, and keep them strong. As well as tonight's commercial is going to include the Grind Roasters. Ian Duncan and company over there, they believed in our company right from Jump Street, and I want to thank them for that. I'll run that commercial. You'll see it later on today, about halfway through the show. But stop going to the, Starbucks and all these other Dunkins, and utilize your local business people, please. They're working their tails off 70 hours a week to make it happen, following their dreams. At least we can do is buy them a cup of coffee from them. All right, tomorrow is my good friend Jeff Zapp show, jeffzappshow.com. Every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 7 o'clock. He's got great content and very inspirational. He used to be a co-host on this show. Excuse me. And we went our separate ways, but we're still really close friends. So. And also tomorrow night is the Beaufort County House of Cards with your host, Mike Covert. And that starts, I believe, at 7 o'clock and runs for about 90 minutes. You can catch him on Facebook, YouTube, and I think he's working on Rumble also. He brings the inside word on Beaufort County politics and underpinnings. So keep a lookout also for, he's starting up the big machine called Big Patriot Radio. That'll be coming soon. Music, news, and more from your friend, Mike Covert. Just give me a moment here. Well, listen, it's finally caught up with me that the Charlie 19 flu, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to say it too much because it gets me thrown off of YouTube and these other social platforms that we are very handy to use. But I just, I got tested Friday for it, and I was positive, and it was like pure hell for about 3 days. I mean, it was like the worst flu you can ever imagine having times 10. But then, you just do the stuff that your grandma taught you. Drink the tea, flushed it out with a lot of water, and I still don't have taste in my mouth, unfortunately, but that'll come back. And I'm feeling a lot better, except for a little frog in the throat, but not bad. So bear with me if I have to cut off, hit the red button here, and then cough a little bit. But I'm excited tonight. We have a return guest. She's been on the show a couple times. She runs an organization that's near and dear to my heart. It's called Fresh Start Healing Heart. Sheila Romeling is going to be with us here very shortly. If you don't know what that is, it's all about serving those who have suffered as victims of human trafficking by walking side by side while providing safe housing, counseling, mental and physical health counseling, the whole bit. They do what they can with these children that have been abused by savages in our society. And this isn't just a one-off deal, as I'm sure Sheila will be able to really talk about a little bit later on. I mean, you can see that occasionally they'll show it on national news, but not very readily. You might see something in a newspaper that say 160 people were busted on human trafficking counts up in Atlanta or something like that, but they smooth over it. I mean, it's just like boom, boom, and you would not be surprised. Nothing surprises me anymore, but the type of people that are involved in this, they run from pillar to post, from, newspaper boys all the way up to corporate heads and law enforcement people and politicians. This darkness that has befallen this country knows no bounds, and it's absolutely destroying the youth of today. And, we have an organization like Fresh Start Healing Heart that's standing in the breach, among others, trying to put these lives back together, and thank God for them. And they deserve all our thoughts and prayers that we can muster. And we certainly should be, if you're looking to donate some money to help somebody, this is the place to do it. Fresh Start Healing Hearts. All right, without further ado, let me bring Sheila Romeling in. Hello, Sheila. Good evening to you. How are you?
Good. How are you, Alan?
I'm doing great. You're looking fine. Let me just make one adjustment. How's that? That gets our acuity a little better. All right. You heard the introduction. Where did I miss out? Did I miss anything as far as what your organization does?
No, not really, other than we do go out and we have actually multiple facets to our organization. Our primary focus is the survivors and their healing process. That's the main thing that we work on the most. When it's feasible, we also go out and educate the public with one of the conferences that we do and we take anywhere is called I Stand. And the I Stand conference is an acronym for I Stand Against Sexual Assault, Trafficking of Humans, Abuse, Neglect, and Domestic Violence. And when we go out, we educate middle school and high schoolers on the importance of healthy relationships, what they look like, what they don't look like. And then also with the context of youth domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. We also have a portion in there of social media protections and preventions due to the fact that predators are all over social media, your cell phones, your gaming apps, and they're looking for everybody. And so we do the best we can to educate the public on top of working with the survivors. And we work with all ages. Since human trafficking doesn't have any boundaries, we work with everybody that falls into the guidelines of human trafficking, whether it be baby trafficking organ trafficking, labor trafficking, or the commercial sex industry.
Wow. Now, you mentioned that you try to educate the young people a bit. Are you
Mhm.
allowed in schools? Do you have any get any pullback from schools trying to get in there to have a discussion with, let's say, seventh graders on up? I guess it would be the most appropriate to talk to them about it.
Yes, we do get some pullback with the school system. We haven't had the opportunity to walk into the schools yet. We do a lot of youth groups, civic groups, and other organizations that allow us to come in, other than we put on the conference also ourselves. We've done the conference a couple of times in Beaufort County, in Bluffton there, in collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club and Low Country Community Church. And when we've done that, it was prior to COVID. And so we did 2 years in a row. We had 125 kids the first year, 65 the second year, and only 5 in the second year had ever heard us speak before. And then COVID hit. And so we weren't able to do any more. And we just started doing them again. We were given the opportunity to do the homeschoolers group there in Okatee. And we just did that, as well as we just did one in Hampton County. Though we wished we had seen a larger turnout, we're going to try again for in spring. So we do go out, and we go anywhere we're invited, as long as it doesn't interrupt any of the work we're doing with survivors. And we're even looking at Pennsylvania. We may be out there at a church in Pennsylvania to do it.
Oh, that's fabulous. How is that? How is it received by the younger people when you start discussing these things that are pretty abhorrent? I mean,
Well,
do they
it's
have a lot
amazing.
of questions for you? I mean, do they like?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they actually do. They have questions. Many will know what human trafficking is, or they'll even give signs. One of the things that we do is we make it very interactive, because we don't want to lecture to them. We want to be interactive. We just want to be another voice for parents.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it is they do interact. We play some social media clips as well to get their attention, play games, things like that. But I think the best part about it is we make sure that there's a survey filled out at the end on what they learned. And I have to tell you, it's always wonderful to get some of their feedback on what they found that really caught their attention with the education, or something new that they learned. And then we always make sure that there's advocates available for anybody that may recognize something we've said. So if all of a sudden they think it's them, or it is someone they know and they just all of a sudden are really struck by it, we make sure there's people available to work through that with them right away, so that we don't open the door and walk away.
Yeah, that's truly awesome. How do you find many adults that are victims of this, especially sexual trafficking? I know prostitution is the oldest profession on the planet, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, some of these domestic situations, I know as a law enforcement officer, you'd walk in and usually the female partner would be like scared out of her mind, and very intimidated by that. Does that stretch into that? Is that where the domestic violence stuff comes in, where sometimes these people are also involved in, let's say, trafficking or trading?
Yes, actually, I'll go through a couple. You touched on a couple of different things. So we've worked with ages 13 to 60. So when I say that human trafficking has no boundaries, it has none. So if they can make money off of you, whether it's in labor or the commercial sex industry, your age, your sex, your economic background, your educational background, religious beliefs, nothing matters. Nothing matters at all. And so with that being said, yes, we have seen with most of our clients, they have, and I call them clients, even though our services are free, but we call them clients because it takes a while of healing for them to recognize they're actually a survivor. And many of them have been involved with law enforcement for multiple different reasons. It might be that they were caught on drug charges. It might be prostitution charges. It might be domestic violence. It can be any of those things. And unless investigated deep enough, they can be charged with things when it was all due to human trafficking. And trafficking is separate than prostitution, but there is a fine line when it comes down to it. And so many of the clients that we have served have extensive backgrounds or have had run-in with law enforcement in situations that, just given a little bit more information, they could have been found. But oftentimes, because they don't self-identify, they don't know what to answer either on the questions that are asked. So it's a difficult situation in human trafficking for law enforcement and for the victims to make the connection.
Right. Folks, you've been listening, you are listening right now to Sheila Rumling, the director of Fresh Start Healing Hearts. It's a rescue program and counseling program for people that are involved in human trafficking of all types. If you want to call in right now, it's 843-894-2151. You have a question for Sheila, she'll be more than willing to take those. How many volunteers do you have in your organization?
Oh, that's a hard one to answer, just because we have people who volunteer at all different levels, from volunteering to grabbing Christmas presents during the Christmas season, to donating to our secondhand store, to helping to put on like our next fundraising event that we have coming up. It's a different facets. We have those who like to work in the background and do computer stuff for me. We have those who are ambassadors in the areas. And so we have an ambassador in Hardyville. We have one in Bluffton. We have one in Hilton Head Island, and we have one in Mount Pleasant, because we can use ambassadors all over the place. And then we have those who help out at the secondhand store and work there as well. And then those that hang out with me when I'm at events. So
where is your secondhand store that you use to generate some funding from? Where is that?
Well, our secondhand store is located in Hampton County, out in Estill, and I have to tell you, Alan, that store, I really fought God about starting that. I did not want to be tied down with a store or anything like that, because my thing is all about the survivors. But the secondhand store had 4 purposes to begin with, and it has served all 4 purposes. One was to give us rural offices out in the outer counties there that we serve as well. Also to help to start funding Fresh Start Healing Heart on a regular basis, and it's sustaining itself at the moment. Then it was to serve the community with great things at affordable prices, because those are lower income communities out there, and it's been doing that. The other is, we do have survivors that come in with no work background, or with goals and dreams that they start to realize that they can obtain. And some of them would like to have retail background, business background, small business management background, and we're able to do apprenticeships for them for that, and give them a paid position, actually.
Wow.
And so the store is working in all facets right at the moment, and it's doing its job. We've actually been able to pull out 2 survivors in that area due to the store.
Oh, beautiful. Where exactly is it? I used to deliver second helpings to a church out in Estill. I forget the name of it now, but I know how to get there by truck. But where is your shop out there? Where is the secondhand shop?
It's actually right on 321, or also known as Martin Luther King Boulevard. It's 680 Martin Luther King. The Google Maps and I are fighting over the address, so it's easier if somebody just puts in the Estill Gas Company, and we're 2 doors down. But otherwise, we're the corner of Baker Street and 321.
Okay, very good. We used to make I'll tell you where there's a gas station on the right, a flashing light on 321. You make a left and over the tracks. Is that near there? If I went straight?
If you went straight, you would come down about 3 blocks.
All right, excellent. All right,
Mhm.
because I have an idea that might interest you. I don't know, but I was just sitting here thinking, wouldn't that be? Because we're normally that truck that we use on a Saturday is not full, and that's our last stop going out to Estill. And sorry about that. And I was thinking maybe that we could possibly do some type of joint effort between Second Helpings and your Fresh Start Healing Heart, and we could load it up with goods to bring out to you. I mean, if it's only 3 blocks down the road, I mean, and we're not. Let me work on that.
That sounds
I mean,
wonderful.
you take everything, right? You take clothing, books, everything.
Right now, we are not able to take any more books at this time because we have a small area for books. But right now, we are in need more than anything men's clothing and more of women's shoes of all different sizes and household items. We take small household items. We don't take furniture except when we put out a call for a survivor who's getting her own place. And then we do. Otherwise, if we take like little coffee tables, things like that, we have to put them outside on our front porch because we don't have room inside for that stuff.
I see.
But
So
we do take all, one of the things that goes the fastest is towels and bedding and kitchen items. They go pretty fast.
kitchen items, you mean like gadgets for pots and pans, that kind of stuff.
Yes, and dishes. We also take pictures, paintings, things like that.
Okay.
Anything that we can hang up or put on a shelf works best.
All right, sounds good. All right, let me work on something.
Lamps go fast also.
Lamps, perfect. We have a big community here, and I think that reaching out deep into the low country is a nice way to do it. I mean, there's plenty of consignment shops around here, but I think if we could consolidate our efforts and spread the wealth, a little more towards the edge of the pie plate, I think it'd be doing a lot, be more impactful than just dropping off several boxes over at the local thrift store here. Not that I'm knocking them, but it sounds like you need more financial help than anything.
Well, I can tell you, we actually have a big need, bigger than the store's need. And I kind of wanted to bring that up to you today.
Sure, go ahead. Let's talk about
it. Fresh Start Healing Heart has a different model than most organizations out there that house survivors of any crime. And so Fresh Start Healing Heart's model is we do a host family model. And so what that entails is someone opens up their home and shares their family with one survivor. We put one survivor per home, and really allows them that space and a healthier family around them to help them during their healing process. Now, this would be adults only. We only house adults. We work with all ages, but we only house adults. Mm-hmm. And so we are in need of more host families. Host families are able to sit down with me, and we hash out what they're willing to, who they're willing to work with in their home or share their home with. So it might be, let's say you, Alan, you decide you want to be a host family, you and your lovely wife, and you say, Sheila, we would like to host a male in labor trafficking with no children, no family with him. And so I put that stipulation down so that I know that I have a home. If I get a call for a male that's been trafficked in labor and he's he's by himself, then I can say, oh, I do have a home for you. Let's say I get another labor call, but that one does not line up with what you asked for. Then what happens is I let them know that we are full at this time, and I would be happy to help them find another place to go. And then I do find people other places to go, and they do stay in one of our transition homes so that they can transition to the next program instead of leaving them out there in the streets or anything like that. And we do the same thing with the commercial sex industry. We may have someone who wants to host an adult between ages, 18 to 25, or someone who would rather house between 30 and 40, or no, with kids or no kids. We just allow you to dictate what you would like, and we put that in, and then we work on together the training and education that family needs, and we work very closely with them through the process, as well as we make sure volunteers are taking the client back and forth to their counseling sessions and things like that. We have a whole system set up. We've been doing it for 7 years. We've housed 12 survivors so far. And so it's generally anywhere from 3 months to, it can be up to a year to 2 years, depending on their healing process, as well as the amount of time that they are needed to heal, to move forward. And so far we've had about 2 years has been the max. We've had one for 3 years, but that one was okay to be done that way. So.
Is that right? What's the process and the procedures of the host family? I mean, you have someone that's been traumatized, and then you come to grips, you're going to have somebody stay with you, which is huge. I mean, because it's a stranger. So there's what would the procedures and expectations be?
The procedures are, first of all, let's say, okay, we get one that calls and qualifies for our program. That person will go into a transition house first, and so that we can mull over, if they need to go off to rehab. We are not a licensed rehab center, so we do use one. Generally, that's for 2 months. During that time, the host family is getting to know each other through communication and building a bond. When they come back from rehab, they'll go back to the transition home to make sure that everything's ready to go at the host family home. And then we will transition them over to the host family home. What's expected of a host family is just, to be a family. If it was your child who needed, your adult child who has been in a terrible situation and needs unconditional love and respect, that's what we're asking. We're asking a safe home, a safe environment for someone to heal. We're asking you to love on them as you would anybody else you know. And it takes a little bit of time, because they're not going to trust us easy either. And so they will not, I don't think we've had anybody that has not come in grateful. And so they come in very grateful that anybody is willing. We've had many of them say, I can't believe you'd open your home to a perfect stranger. That is really wonderful. And they respect it and they take care of it. We have guidelines that we have for the program that makes it so that they have to respect your space, respect your times, and your home. And then also we sit down with the host family and make sure that if you have any set regime, that we understand what that set regime is, so that we know when the client can go with you for things and when the client will need a volunteer there in the home. We also have one guideline that's very strict, and that is two guidelines very strict. One is they cannot give out the host family's address or say that they are living with you. So let's say, Alan, you bring someone into your home, and like I said, it's a male labor trafficking victim. You're going to say it's a friend of yours, and that you're just helping them out for a short period of time while they're making a move or making a transition. That's about all you might want to say. If, when we've had people in that were in their 20s in a home of a family that has 20, 30-year-old children, then they say, this is one of my adopted children that I'm just helping them get back on their feet. It's just a simple way of making sure that we're not giving out too much information. But then the second guideline is that if, Alan, you bring in that male labor trafficking victim, that labor trafficking victim cannot be left in the home with your wife without you. And that is for safety reasons on everybody's side, so that they feel comfortable as well as the family feels comfortable.
Right.
And we don't have any misunderstandings. And so that's when we'll bring in a volunteer to hang out in the home if that needs to happen, or we'll take the client off to go do something. And so that's, we're very cautious and respectful in every way that we possibly can on both sides, because they're just as scared as you are.
Yeah, that's true. So you do a certain amount of vetting, to determine whether there's, let's say in the person's past, they might have some violent activity or been exposed to that type of thing, or, that would maybe not earmark them as a violent person, but you don't want to put that person in a situation where it's going to trigger them to have some kind of strange behavior.
Well, are you talking the host family or the victim?
Both, really.
Okay.
The victim, but I don't want to leave the host out because they can be just as nutty as anybody.
Well, I would say that everybody has trigger points, and
Right.
everybody has stress levels, and everybody has what I call a breaking point. And so we're adamant to walk beside everybody so that we know where there's what's going on, what's being said, what's being misunderstood, communication's everything and perception's everything. And so we always do the best we can to get both sides of the story, work things through. And, again, it's no different than raising up your own children. And if you've had your own children and you're raising them up, there's miscommunication. That there's days when we just agree to disagree and move on, things like that. And it's no different with survivors. The only difference is that they may have never been taught how to work through things in a different way. And so that you're teaching them. And anytime we're working with people who are traumatized, you will find different ages in behavior. So what I mean by that is, if, let's say, someone was sexually abused at the age of 10, and certain songs remind them of that situation, you may all of a sudden have a 10-year-old reaction of
Right.
maybe all of a sudden getting really upset or going and hiding somewhere or something like that. We help to recognize that kind of stuff and realize that that's what's going on, where that person may be 30 years old and you're watching a 10-year-old all of a sudden, and then you're talking to the 30-year-old again. It's a normal process, and it just means that healing did not happen at that age, and we have to go back and start there.
Yeah. I was more interested in, let's say, if someone had a violent past, during this time that they were trafficked, which, I can't, how can you blame somebody for having a violent past from that, trying to get free? But,
right.
And then there's the host family gets informed of that, of course, right? Or they just, the client doesn't make the qualification list for that if they're have a background in that.
Well, that's the thing, is the host family can help sit down and determine what they're willing to take and what they're not. The last thing we want to do is turn around and tell a survivor we have a home for them, and then that home tell us no. So we make sure that everything's pretty covered. And I'll be honest with you, Alan, sometimes we don't get all of it because we don't sit there and mull through their story the first day.
Right.
We make sure they're qualified for our program first, and then from there we start to unfold it, because we don't want to sit and re-traumatize, but we do want some information.
Sure.
And then we also want them to feel comfortable to share when they are ready to share.
Yeah.
And that's part of the healing process, is to be able to share when they feel safe, when they feel respected. And I'll be honest, I think everybody to a point has the ability to be violent. It just depends on what that breaking point is.
Right.
And so, we're not, when you're sharing a home with someone and you're showing them unconditional love and they're respecting your space and things are going well, even when there's a disagreement, you're less likely to ever run into something like that because nobody really wants to be violent.
No, absolutely. I don't want to belabor the point. I'm just, some of these questions are coming to me as as a person that would be considering being a host. So that's why I want to get the answer exactly from the director's mouth, so to speak. It's
and I appreciate it because I do want to answer. We don't hide anything. We're very open about everything that we do.
Well, listen, folks, if you want to call in right now, 843-894-2151. And if you have a question for Sheila, she's wide open to take that question concerning Fresh Start Healing Hearts. I just wrote some show notes here. What are the numbers, say, quarterly that you have new clients coming in? What's a general number of new clients per quarter, do you think?
We don't, that one's a hard one to answer just because of the fact that we are not a short-term program. We are a voluntary program and we are until. So clients that we've started with, we still are working with today. So right now we currently are serving 10 clients on different services, even if they're not in a host family currently. And so we can get a couple of calls a month. So maybe about, I'd say anywhere from 5 to 10 a quarter, if you want to say it that way, that are calls that we end up doing transfers for because our program needs more host families. And so we will transfer them to another program.
Wow. God bless you for that. Can you give me a success story?
I can give you multiple.
Give me one that really rings your bell. Really, when it came to the finish line for this person, they just blossomed like into a flower that you never expected.
Okay, so we have one of our success stories, and we don't take the credit for it. So one of those who allowed us to walk beside them for their success story came in, didn't trust anybody, dealing with multiple health issues, and also I have to be careful because I can't give any identifying information. Also had a very broken home, a very broken family herself, and so a long history of hurts and pains and hang-ups, and it's a very, very bad journey from almost the beginning of life. And came in and was right away taunted with nightmares. So our volunteers were able to deal with that and be there and work through that. The counselors working through that and everything. And making it a shorter story, we have seen this one blossom to being a people person who felt that she was not, to learn, really being able to blossom on how she wants to dress, how she wants to look, how she wants to talk, her goals and dreams. She became very artistic. She always had it, but she had kind of put it away. All of a sudden starting to do artwork and writing poems and just starting to blossom so much. She moved into the second level of our program and was able to get a job and really pick up some new skills and start working with the public again. And then from there, she has also worked into an apprenticeship through our program to parts of her goals and dreams, which is to own her own mobile boutique. She has clothing designs in her mind and would like to own her own small business. And she's off and running. She has restored relationships with family members as well as with her children. So
those are huge leaps. Yeah. Huge victories there, no question about it.
Oh, and she's overcome all addictions.
Oh, that is awesome. That's a blessing from God there.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that. Sheila, what else? I'll give you the last word here. You got to move on. But as always, it was a pleasure having you on board today. And I love listening to you talk about this. You don't get much press because people are not, I'm sure you get press, but I mean, these are things that should be on the front lines of our newspapers, not all the other rigmarole that we have to put up with. I do appreciate all of the work that you do and all your volunteers and organizers. If someone wanted to volunteer with you and be a part of the program, what would they have to do?
They would just need to go to freshstarthealingheart.org and go ahead and email us through there, or they can contact me at 843-644-1991. Or the last thing I wanted to bring up is that we have our yearly Feast for Freedom fundraiser going on. It's November 1st. They're welcome to join us at that and be able to get to know us a little bit, introduce themselves to me and our team, and then we can start from there as well. That Feast for Freedom November 1st will be starting off at 5 p.m. with a happy hour, and it will be located at 95 Matthews Drive on Hilton Head at the North End Poorhouse. Chip is opening up the restaurant to us and doing our fundraiser and silent auction there. So we need silent auction items, and we'd like those before the 22nd of October. And we'd like your reservations to be done through the Poorhouse itself. So you just give the North End Poorhouse a call and give them your reservations. Your drinks, your dinner, all that, Chip will be donating a portion of that back to Fresh Start Healing Hearts. So we'd really like everybody to fill that restaurant for us and help us to not only raise a wonderful amount of financial support, but be able to come and get to know us and hear some of the success stories that we're going to share that evening. We really are excited about it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Do you have a flyer that you can email me? I'll post it.
Yes, I actually do.
But just go ahead and stick it and put in my email, and I'll get it up on our website. I do have your logo and with a link connection right to your organization on our website, folks. So you can just go to TalkOne Radio. You scan down just at the About page. I think I have it stashed there. But make sure you give generously if you're up in the Estelle. What is it? Estelle.
Estelle.
Jeez.
I agree. English, the way it's written, it should be Estill. But they've corrected me multiple times when I'm there that it's Estelle.
Well, whatever it is, it's it's a good community, and Fresh Start Healing Hearts has their thrift shop there. Please patronize that and spend some money up there so they can continue to get it going. And Sheila, I'll definitely work on the idea between second helpings and moving some merchandise up towards you.
That would be wonderful.
That would be a good deal. But until next time, I'd like to just give you a heartfelt thank you for being with us and bringing us up to speed on this. We're going to have this posted all over on YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook. Probably tomorrow I'll get to be reposting it. So look for that. Point everybody. If you need some of this, if you need a copy yourself, I can shoot it to you, and you let me know.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Alan, for having me on and allowing
pleasure.
us to share.
You bet. Take care of yourself, and God bless you.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Well, there you go, folks. That's one hell of a lady, I must say. Leadership is leadership. I don't care what gender you are. And it's a pleasure to be associated and talk to someone, get the inner beat of what's going on, and a social program that's dearly needed. But I want to thank Sheila Romling again. You can give her a call, 843-644-1991, if you want to learn more about it. But and go to freshstarthealingheart.org for more information. Listen, I got to take a break right now. We'll be back right after these messages. You're listening to TalkOne Radio. Company was established in 2021 and is an oasis for all your pharmacy needs in Sun City and Bluffton area. The company enhances the well-being and livelihood of our community by offering quality pharmacy services, a refreshing soda fountain, and a unique gift shop that touches all seasons. Their staff is dedicated to making your experience a pleasure. Bluffton Drug Company. Local service you deserve and expect. Located right outside the gate near Oakley Ale House. Call or visit today. 843-707-707.
How do you start off your day? Wouldn't it be nice if you could kick things off with a specialty coffee that's exotic and unique? What about a coffee that's infused with doTERRA essential oils for better living? Oh yeah, and let's not forget about a classic style coffee with 11 original beans. Locally owned and established in 2016, the Grind Roasters pride themselves on helping you be successful through a variety of coffee blends. So the next time you rise and shine, head over to the Grind Roasters in Sheridan Park and truly discover our bean, your coffee.
Time for fitness? Unsure of what to do when you walk into the gym? The eFit Club uses eGym and Matrix technology combined with personal training to easily guide you through your workout. It's the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to improve your health. The eFit Club is suitable for all adults, and our members are reporting amazing results. The eFit Club is located in Bluffton at the Belfair Town Village Shopping Center. Mention Alan or Roman of TalkOne Radio, and you'll receive a special discounted membership. It's your time to get fit.
I just want to be the best. I just want to be the best. I just want to be the best.
Appointment.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. All right. I am back. On it. Hope you enjoyed those. I'm working myself just to teach myself how to do that video stuff. So bear with me if it's not perfect, but it's coming along and I'm happy with it. So baby steps. Listen, I ran a fresh one there, that Palmetto Buff. Good friend of mine runs that operation. Busy. Just moved down here like a year or 2 years ago, and he is working his tail off. He's looking to expand. And I'll tell you the biggest thing about it, if you've never had the opportunity to have a mobile detailing shop come to your house and detail your cars like they just rolled off the production line or out of the showroom, you deserve to call Palmetto Buff and give him a shout out. I'll give him your number right now real quick. Palmetto Buff, make sure you call him, 843-949-8708. Tell him TalkOne Radio sent you, for no other reason to let him know that it's effective. All right, very few minutes left. Let me get myself out of that gigantic head picture. A couple things from Sunset here. They just broke today. It kind of blew my mind. I won't say who wrote all these, but now this is incredible to me. I've never heard of this. I've never known this to be going on, but this is fresh off the one of the Sun City boards on Facebook. person said, I've seen more than one Hasidic Jew walking into Sun City through our gate. They are knocking on doors of people who have been here longer and are most likely to sell, especially for cash. The person called security and talked to an officer. He sent cars there. These people are trespassing. That's a fact. I thought it was kind of a joke. I thought, what are the Jews Hasidic Jews are invading Sun City? I don't think so, but I guess this is a real deal. I guess they really have gone into other communities, purchased large sections of homes, and moved in. And I guess they're rather strict from the Jewish standpoint, religion. And then they start influencing everything around them. I don't know. If you know more about it, call me right now, 843-894-2151. Incredible story. And the person that wrote this said, hey, listen, snarky remarks will be reported to Facebook. Don't comment if you don't have anything nice to say. Thanks for your insight. I never knew this. This is incredible to me. I don't know if you're a Sun City resident listening right now, but should we be concerned about this? Hasidic Jews walking through the gates, because, really, this is not a secure, Fort Knox or military post. People can actually just walk right in here without, they're on camera, but they don't care about that. So, I don't know. It says, here's a response. It's very upsetting to hear. We own in South Carolina and haven't moved yet. The Hasidics have taken over our own community in New York, where we currently live, and now find out that they're trying to do the same in South Carolina is almost unbearable. These people are both self-proclaimed Jews, so they're not starting a big anti-Semitic rant here. This is just observation with caution. This is kind of a crazy deal. I don't know what I'd do. I'd probably kick him off my porch. Hey, get off on the road. Bye-bye. Unless they were offering me like $900,000, then maybe I'd have them in for tea. All right. This is, boy. I'm sorry about that, folks. Wow. This Charlie 19 thing is not for the faint of heart. All right. Here's the Northside ADA issue that came up just before I went on air. I didn't have a chance to really dive deep into it, but it sounds like a huge amount of buck passing going on. The dog park does not have access via the ADA requirements for people that are disabled. And some people are defending the builders and Pulte especially by saying, they just built it. We had nothing to do with it. And that's true. The after effects is, now that we know that my point of view is this: once you find out that there is an issue, instead of saying not my fault, why don't you invest $1,000 and put a ramp next to it, when it's in compliance and everybody's happy. The people that are complaining about this, obviously it affects them. So the best thing to do is just be a good neighbor, be a good community association, be a good semi HOA. What are we going to do when we don't have a community association to kick around. We have our own HOA. I mean, if I was sitting on the thing, I'd say, okay, well, let's get a couple bidders on this, and let's build a ramp either next to it, the stairs, or get something done, and pay for it and be done with it. Our residents demand it. Let's put it in. Then we are in compliance. Then we have no issues. So instead of, once they turn it over to the CA and the CA turns it over, this is the kind of stuff that makes people like nutty, I think. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight, yuck, because it's north side, it's a dog park. I don't own a dog, but I can empathize with these people that, want this thing to be in ADA. I don't think they're chasing it around saying, oh, look, they're not by code. Well, I don't know if my roof's to code, because I tell you what, how the Beaufort County building inspector did his job when we had all our roofs fixed around here after a giant hailstorm. He drove down the street in a car and looked at a few roofs with binoculars. Not exactly highly technical work, you know what I mean? And then signed off on them. So much for that, I guess. Simple matter. Listen, just go fix the thing. How tough could it be? Pressure treated lumber is, well, it's expensive, but for less than $1,000, you could have this thing done and buttoned up, put away, tucked in, done and dusted, as they say. And that would be that. But no, we got to pass the buck around. It's Pulte's fault. It's the CA's fault. It's this, is that. Let's just, it's like politics, we're just about done with this two-party system. This is the biggest mud fight I've ever seen in my life. I never used to even pay attention to politics. And now that's all we're doing is trying to do the one-uppings on everybody else. Oh, yeah, well, Biden's a mess as far as I'm concerned. He's a mess as far as I feel bad for the guy. I'm not even going to run any more of those videos of him looking around for a handler to get him off stage. It's just, to me, it's depressing because we are the greatest country in the world. So we still are. We shall always be. And I don't care what politicians tell me. I have very low, respect for anyone that's been more than 2 years up there. This career politician bid, my saying is this: they come in as paupers, they leave as millionaires. That doesn't happen because they're working harder. It's because they're taking that money from the boys in the lobby who they vote for. So, it's depressing at times. So I think we have to get back to, me and you reaching out, just like the Neil Diamond song is, and start putting something together besides talking about how bad this one is or how bad that one is or this and that. It is, like I said last week, I'm so over it as far as that goes. All right, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight. I really appreciate your patronage. Do me a big favor. On these YouTubes and Facebooks, please hit the like button for me and share it with a friend. I know it's not, all bells and whistles, but I think we're doing something right. We're getting a lot more people taking a look at us. So until next week, I want you to be kind to each other. We'll see you next week.